All right. Well, welcome everyone. It's great to, let me begin by thanking Mandy for holding down the fort while I was gone. I appreciate that. And it's great to have Jeannie here live and in person. Very exciting. First item up is the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 11th meeting? Thank you, Mandy. And a second, please.
Second.
Thanks, Bill. All right. Now, Scott sent us his report, so hopefully you guys had a chance to look at that. Did anyone have any questions or concerns? It was all pretty straightforward. Even I didn't have questions. I responded and said, no questions, smiley face. He thought it was funny.
I want to say I like the format. I like the monthly going on. I think this is a good move right from the get-go.
I do too, because it's really good to be able to go back and look too, to sort of see the chron of what's happened. I thought it was it's helpful. All right, officer reports. Do any of the officers have a report they would like to do other than something coming later in the agenda? Andy? No. Carol?
I never know where I should be here or finance, so.
We'll let you do finance.
Okay.
Jeannie? Okay. All right, then over to finance.
Finally.
I know, I'm trying to whip right through here because we got big discussions later.
So the financials are posted. Basically we spent $4,007.90 last month, of which $28,1250 is Scott. $600 to file the IRS exemption 1023 form, the big one that we need, and 92 MRB associates for like March work. And then $355.40 for software. That was $296.02 for the website and $59.40 to me each month for paying for QuickBooks. So we had at the end of May, $129,503.14 in the account. And so we spend about, under 4,000, usually about 3,000 a month just being as we are. I did send our contact, whose name is failing me right now, Jared.
It's Jared.
Yeah. A question on the filings, what's due when, make sure we're not missing anything. He didn't get back to me. I was sent that just Tuesday night. So, yeah. And then the other email that he had sent, I had asked, now that we have our New York State charitable document registration, is that our exempt filing? No, it's not. We still do have to do another one. So my thought is either we go through the process or they go through the process, which is billable, or it'll be part of their hours to get the tax exempt. And I don't know if it's worth it because we're not buying hardly anything with tax.
Yeah.
And if we just wait till we get our the IRS one, it's going to be another 5 months. We'll have that. And
Have you heard anything on that, Carol?
No, and except that we are filed. It's in process, and they said to expect it to take 6 months to hear anything.
I thought it said up to.
Okay.
Well, to me, that's different. I just wanted to.
Well, that I like the optimistic reading that you just gave.
I just wondered,
so I haven't
is there
yet.
any way that accounting confirm can?
I can ask. I can ask, but I doubt it, but I can certainly ask. I'll ask.
It's the government.
So my thought is we wait till we get that to file the New York State one.
I think that makes sense to me.
I mean, I think if we find between now and worst case 6 months that we need, I mean, we can do it at any time, right?
I mean, at this point, it's at least worst case 5 months, right? Because it's been
right. It's at least a month. Yeah.
Sounds like a long ways off, but the way time's going, it'll be here tomorrow.
It's true.
Okay, so at this point, we're not going to jump on the New York State one. And once we do get our federal one, I have seen some stuff on QuickBooks where we can get this cheapo version that's going to be a lot less than $60 a month.
I think I found something where you can get, like we could get a better Zoom, we can get QuickBooks through, just like because you're a 501c3. Once you have that, it opens a couple of doors, which is really nice.
Good. That's all I have. I think.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. All right, governance, you guys met, so, want to take us through your, you guys want to wait, thank you for the quick response on that, I just didn't know if we needed a resolution for now or next month, so thank you for that. So,
Now, Charlie, you want me to go through our notes?
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure everybody had a chance to look at it, so just
That's
do a
fine.
quick,
So, we met virtually, Bill, myself, Mandy. And we, reviewed the bylaws. We all reviewed it prior. And the only thing that we found of exception was the, under the specific articles, Article 1, Section 3, Article 6, which referenced the executive director. And it was all in reference to language of employed and hired. So, because we were not going to employ people, have W-2 employees, we wanted to, bring to the board that we should consider changing that language, deleting it. There is employed and contract. So that's there, but we really believe that we need to delete those. Section 1 or Article 1, Section 3, hires should be deleted. And executive director, Section 1, delete employed. And then
Yeah,
Section 2.
yeah, so the only question I had, guys, was on that first one, Section 3, I, hire employees and vendors. So is there any reason, looking down the road, I mean, certainly we would hire vendors. I mean, as we get our 501c3, if we're administering grants, we may hire vendors.
But I don't think it's hire is the proper word. I think it's contracted.
And I was thinking the word contractors as well. should be
Okay,
contract.
so do you think then that's covered with execute contracts, so we just get rid of I? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I think you don't want to infer, you don't want to mix the definition of hire, which is always, it always correlates to a W-2 relationship or an employer-employee relationship, specifically in New York State. Other states is a little different, but that's my advisement, but it's totally the board's decision.
So, but I just clarity. So you're thinking strike I altogether or reword it? I'm just not clear on what the suggestion is.
In that case, we were saying delete hire. So delete that.
But
Is that correct?
it doesn't run right if we need some word there.
Right, yeah,
Right.
I think we could just take out I.
Because execute contracts is gonna cover hiring a contractor or
Or
a vendor or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just, all right, so that's clear. Thanks. All right, so we're just saying take that out. All right. And then the next one was Article 6, Section
That's under
1.
executive director.
Yeah.
And muddy water.
Yeah, no, I think that
Um,
yeah, that one was clear.
And under that, Section 1, it says and could be employed or contracted
Mm-hmm.
by the corporation. Unless we have a differing of opinion about doing W-2 employees, I'd suggest we delete that, but. that's-
Yeah, I think the reason that MRB even wrote it that way is because we've been on the fence about it. So the suggestion would be then, and contracted by the corporation, right? We would just,
And would be contracted. by
That
the
is
corporation.
correct.
yeah.
I like would instead of could.
Yes.
Could be. Yep, okay. And then the last one, all employees.
I didn't, because we don't have employees. And I really didn't understand that one. That's probably, they were just trying to cover a base and be generic. And I mean, will we ever have additional contractors?
Well, the idea, and you guys are a part of the committee, make sure that I'm recollecting this correctly. The idea was that the executive director would, for lack of a better term, manage all those relationships. So if we ever wanted employees, they would report to the executive director. I'm not sure we ever would, but if we ever did, they would do that, and that they would, for example, manage the relationship with Scott, for example.
I understand.
So that, do you guys remember it that way? And
I
I think
think
that's why they
so.
said all employees, because
I
they
think
thought we
that
might
sentence
have
should just
employees.
say contractors of the corporation shall report to
Right.
the executive director.
All
Because
Yeah.
if we're gonna be consistent and we're trying to take out the
Yeah.
employee thing.
Yep, I
I
think
mean, we
so.
can always change our mind in 5 years when we're huge and need
We
employees.
got
Oh,
into
God.
a situation where we needed to hire an employee as a
Then we revisit
dockhand
this.
or,
Yeah.
whatever, we can amend it, change it.
Sure,
Or
yeah.
right now, we could keep it, any place where we're trying to take it out, we could say hire employees and contractors. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not,
I don't think the cleanliness of your first suggestion makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's just, it was mixed in there because we were on the fence.
Yeah.
I think that's why it is the way it is.
so then contractors of the corporation shall report to the executive.
Yeah. Good. All right, good. Thank you. That's clear. Anybody have any, Nadira, you got anything on this or this all clear to you? You're good?
I
Yep,
think
all good. We discussed it in committee.
Well, I was gonna say you're in the governance, so you probably were very clear on it. And
Thanks,
I'm just-
Sarah.
I just want to not forget that you're there in that snazzy hotel room. Okay, so then what we'll need to do is we will, one of the governance folks take this and make, I guess we'll have to start versioning this. Because I think when we made the change about who could sign the check, I don't know that we versioned that, did we?
I don't know, but yes, we need to have versions, if we're changing the bylaws.
Yeah.
I think, so we.
Yeah,
So you want me just to do the edits?
if you don't mind, yeah, if
Yeah,
you do
that's
the
no problem,
edits
I'm fine
and
with it.
you version it, then let me know, and then I'll write up a resolution for July that will reference that version number, and that
Okay.
will make it easier, I think, for us to do the resolution. Okay, excellent.
Okay.
And then once that's resolved, then Joe will change what's posted and. whatnot.
Yes, yeah,
So, yeah, I didn't put the version, and when I sent the copy, the review, I just copied it over. again.
yeah, oh, no, that was fine, that was fine, no, because we made another change, and I
And
don't-
we should be keeping them by version. and
we
not
should be
that-
keeping by version. Where did we change that? Do you remember?
It should be on the title or.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just don't know we were that, good back then. That's why I'm having this moment of saying, no,
I
we
have no idea.
changed. It
Can't
was about the executive director and who could sign checks. Right? Wasn't that
Wasn't
what we
that
changed?
before we even got incorporated then?
Yeah, that's true. It would have been. before.
Yeah, I just don't know if the
This would be
version,
our first change to the
Right.
version because they wouldn't have been official except a
And
bylaw.
I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
blind.
Yeah, because
I think
this is
we're
the
fine.
first, this is the first thing we're changing since we've been incorporated, so.
okay,
Before we were doing.
yeah, yeah, we were
Because there
just,
weren't any.
we were just loose and crazy.
True.
This may be, it has an adopted date, and then I'll put version 2,
Yeah,
okay,
that sounds great.
Yeah.
and we'll date it for today.
Yeah, probably.
Do we want to date it when it's?
Oh, yeah, we probably should date it for
For 7,
the 7 day, yeah.
whatever it is.
Submission.
Oh, God, summer's over.
And
Don't say it.
Jeannie, I'm just gonna go and look and see if I can find on the version that you're editing, just to make sure that you're versioning the one that had the thing we
Okay,
changed.
no worries, Mayor.
I just don't know where it is, but in my head, I just want to double check, just to be sure. All right. Anything else from governance? Thank you, governance. Really appreciate it. And you guys seem to be working without a chair, so keep on keeping on.
Do we have to have a chair?
I
Is that
don't,
one of
I
our?
don't think, I thought Nadra said no, right? You looked that up.
Yeah, in the bylaws, it said that we may, but it's not explicit that we have to.
then I think we're good. If you guys are still good running like this, I think that works. Works great. You guys are good? I'm good, that's for sure. All right, Club Street, I did check with the Club Street chair. There has not been a meeting of the Club Street Committee since the meeting that was the public meeting with Edgewater, so they didn't have any update. I think, Dan, you might have some updates from a town perspective. If you want to
Yeah,
talk about them now, you can, or when you do the
that's
town
fine.
stuff.
We're still trying to get a summary of funds available that the town has, that the village may have, any grants in hand, any grants that we're confident that we could apply for and utilize. One being the New York Forward, that could be part of the
Club Street.
municipal project.
Mhm.
The big grant, the voter infrastructure grant. As you know, we contracted with Edgewater to go ahead and begin that BIG grant, which is voter infrastructure grant. But we haven't told them what we want, whether it's 2 phases, 3 phases, or are we going for the gold? So the intent is to get all that summary together, meet with Edgewater, with the village, the town, lay it all out and kind of move the funding around so we don't make the wrong decision and use these funds for that when we should have used those funds for this. Edgewater can help, Scott certainly would help. And it'll kind of, I hopefully kind of clear up, what are we looking to do with the BIG grant? Are we gonna go for all phases, 2 phases? What makes sense? From the town's perspective, our attitude is, if we can get Trotter off the dime to sell both boathouses, let's go for it. At least
Do we think
acquire them.
do we think there's some hope of that? I mean, I know
he would sell them.
there was active
It's the
discussion
price.
on the one on Club Street.
On the small one.
Yeah, and has he agreed to a price on that?
Oh, yeah. We've approved a purchase offer for the small one. But then we got discussing, the funds that are available. If he's looking to move one, he'll sell the other one, but it's the price that was pushing the village away. If we don't use grant funds, we can purchase it for more than the appraised value.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So those are things that we gotta talk with Edgewater, Scott, the village, what makes sense?
Mhm.
Instead of saying, all right, we're gonna use our grant to buy this one, we can only pay X. So those are things that we're still trying to figure out.
So
So
would
the
you-
small one, has he signed the purchase offer?
No, he hasn't signed it, but he agreed to a price.
And is it higher than the assessment? So therefore it's.
The assessment really wasn't broken out. The purchase offer was $285. He wants $750 for the big one. The village isn't in a position to dole out the money, understandably. We actually have $1 million bond that we took out years ago that we just got reimbursed the $250 from the DASB, so that is still whole. And that's kind of the idea of what we're gonna discuss. Should we take that bond and say, Ron, here's $1 million, we'll take them both? I don't know.
And then what is the discussion around, I mean, at least in my mind, I kind of understand what would happen with Club Street, right? Because we've seen that. Would you guys then turn around and try to sell the other bigger marina to someone who would run it?
No.
You would the town or village would try to run it?
We would
The
run
bigger
it.
boathouse.
No, down where the railroad, I mean,
Oh,
we're
that's not-
talking about where the
that's not-
railroad
no, it's
station
not
is.
even-
right?
No, no, I'm-
Oh, you're still talking here. Got it.
All
Okay.
Club Street.
Oh, Club
The
Street.
big- when I
Thank you
mentioned
for
the
that.
big house, It's the
Smaller,
one
big one.
adjacent
Yeah.
to the village.
Oh,
shop.
got it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's another day.
Oh, yeah, because I was
We
like,
wish
wow,
we
$1 million for all that? That's,
Maybe
buy it. It's like-
No, we're, this specifically to Club Street.
Club Street, okay.
Because
know,
it
which
would open
ties
up
in-
all your transient dockage
Right, right.
opportunity, right?
So a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, do you know when the meeting with Edgewater, the village and the town is gonna be? Has that been set?
Has not been scheduled. Scott's away all week.
Right, I knew it was
He's gonna work getting the summary together, what we have. I have reached out to Edgewater. They've already started the BIG grant. And he said, perfect timing. Hopefully we can set something up for next week if everybody's available. And at least start the discussion. The application deadline is August 1st.
Oh,
we've
so you got a little
breathing
time.
room.
Yeah, that's good.
But we just wanna make educated decisions based on all the rules and requirements and
Yeah.
things that you can and can't do with funds.
Right,
Otherwise, you can quickly back yourself into a corner where we do the wrong.
Exactly.
yeah. No, that sounds like a really logical set of steps.
So that's the plan. right now.
Good.
And I think it'll happen hopefully next week, if not early the following week. Edgewater certainly would be a good resource for that along with Scott.
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
Michelle
well,
gave you.
especially that, the big voter grant too,
Yeah.
they'll know what.
And depending upon, I mean, I know the village is looking to use the New York Forward for the road diet. You know, I don't know how much would be available if the town and village said we'd like to use X amount towards this project,
Mhm.
you know, so those are things we gotta kick around.
Well, good. All right, any other questions on Club Street? It
Yeah.
really is. It's like, I start to feel like we're, turning the corner with our paperwork, where, Club Street's moving, it's
We're
exciting.
inching, yeah,
Inching
I
forward,
want leaps and bounds, but.
but yeah, but it's making progress. Okay, all right, great. All right, old business, focus groups and survey questions. Jeannie.
Yeah, so I sent everyone, the invite, Scott and I met. And, so I sent that invite, just kind of giving you an outline of what we're thinking, and certainly it's up for discussion. So, that can be, this was just an invitation example, whereby we would invite specific owners of the various, orientated businesses to come to a focus group. Now, we've got a lot, and I added all your suggestions, Carol. So I just want to talk about the invitation, if that is I want something simple, nothing elaborate. Many may not even know about our board.
Yep.
So I wanted to first introduce them to it. And then secondarily, I wanted them to know what we wanted to talk about, because business people are busy. They're not going to waste their time with something that, unless it's what's in it for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, I talked about this is going to frame our strategic plan. And then it's all about economic development and economic challenges they're experiencing, and that's it.
Mhm.
And unless there's other items that the board would like to add to that focus group, I think keep it simple and keep it very structured in that arena. Thoughts on that?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any changes to that. I thought
Too
it
much
looked
on
good.
there and you're going, so.
Yeah.
Right. And if we just do those things and they come prepared with ideas,
Mhm.
then we can just, I want to keep it to under an hour if I can
Mhm.
with the groups. Now, the groups, so I went back and forth. I saw Jeremy last night because we go down to Osprey. So I said to him, are you Clayton or are you Cape Vincent? Because in the Thousand Island Sun, he says Clayton, New York, but he says, no, I pay Cape taxes. And his
He's in the
shirt,
town, but his address is Clayton,
yeah.
just like the high school.
So again,
Wiley.
I included.
No, I picked mine up at the.
I know.
But
The
I
mailing
included-
addresses are
I
different than.
included because when I'm in there and I noticed all the waitresses say Cape Vincent.
Yeah.
So I'd like to include him because he's invested a
Absolutely.
significant amount of money in Cape.
Mhm.
And personally, I like him. And so I
No,
think
he's
he brings,
definitely town Capens.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So anyway, this is who I have for the restaurants, wines, crafts, breweries. I kind of collectively, because we're not going to get every single owner.
Right.
Right,
It'd be wonderful if we did, but I doubt it. I've got Cape Vincent Brewery, Snug Harbor, Roxy's, the Cold Ox, Crave Deli, which is now changed. It's going to Pat Wiley. Right, have they
PW's
changed that name?
Firehouse Diner.
Oh, good.
I gotta change that
Something
name.
consistent maybe, that just becomes something and stays what it is.
Diner,
Set that
diner,
to be.
breakfast, lunch and dinner.
The one Snug has got a new name too now. Somebody else bought that.
It's-
Isn't it still Snug?
It's
Oh,
not.
same name? Okay,
Yeah,
so,
but
okay, just new
it's
one.
called, you know what? You're right. It may be called, it's Snug something.
Okay,
But I'll get the proper names.
sure.
I may need help with contacts and such
Mhm.
from everyone. Taste of Design, Sweet Jenny's Bistro Bakery, Fisherman Fair. Millens Bay Inn. I haven't checked, but they're painting and doing a lot over there. So I'm assuming they're gonna be opening. I'm assuming.
That's what I
Does
agree.
anyone know? I walk that way every morning
Mhm.
and there's been painters in there. So I'm assuming they're doing something, but I thought it's worth at least an invitation. Osprey and then Twist of Cape, that currently had it.
I think Sweet Jenny's is cool.
Yep, they've already had a disagreement with them.
They already closed?
Yeah.
It's only about
That
3,
was
4
the
weeks.
scuttlebutt anyway.
That's too bad.
I know.
That just started. Oh my goodness. I know there's a,
Yeah.
so they didn't even open
They
really.
opened for a couple weeks, but
Okay, so they're gone. Okay. Anyone else, restaurant, wine, craft breweries?
I think is that Red Geranium thing open or not?
I don't
That's-
think so.
I've
I don't
seen them,
think
But that's with Cold Docks.
It's the
Yeah.
same
So
owner,
it's the
right?
same owner, so she.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And I don't know, that one
Did you
spins my
see
head
the
every day
Cape
too.
Winery?
I want it open, it's right beside
I'm
me.
putting the
I know,
winery-
and it was really
Didn't.
nice. It was really nice.
No, I didn't. The Cape Winery?
Right,
Mhm.
'cause they're open, they're doing.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay,
They have a tasting downtown still?
No,
No,
they closed up that shop and put it all back up.
Okay, so, but they're open at the
but
farm.
they've been. active,
they're
yeah.
open at the farm.
And,
Okay,
and they also there, they
They
have
have an
some
active
sort of a soap thing,
Yes.
but I figured that was covered under Cape Winery, so I
Yeah.
don't think I said that.
Okay. anyone else that you can think of?
What's the home delivery thing?
oh, yeah.
Hometown meals to go.
Yeah.
Tricia,
Alicia.
Alicia Johnson.
um,
Alicia Johnson. Hometown meals to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of a different business model, but it's food.
She does a lot.
Anything else?
I haven't tried it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, I have. I got a gift. I received a gift certificate for Christmas.
we haven't done it at home, but we had the Keep of the Lion.
Yeah, and she does catering too. yeah.
She did something for the village, which was great.
Yeah.
She does a soup and sandwich every Monday, and I pick it up for myself and a couple coworkers, and it's a lot, so it lasts us like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give this a try.
Yeah.
I had
She's
seen it
already-
advertised, but I
Where
haven't
is
tried.
she? Is she
Just
just,
down the street here,
oh, so you pick it up at her home?
or she'll deliver in Cape Vincent.
Oh, in Cape Vincent.
And
She
but she
delivers to
also
my
delivers to
house.
Clayton, and outside of Cape is $5 delivery.
It's good to know.
Hmm.
That's really good to know.
She's catering for us for my family. We're doing a cookout in July. She's catering for us.
And she's contracted with us to use the kitchen here
Yeah.
for large catering groups.
Oh, good. Excellent. So
So
yeah,
that's
no, she
commercial
seems to be
kitchen.
really doing well. So
Okay,
yeah,
great.
that, that's a miss not having her
All
on
right,
the.
so let me just review this one more time to make sure that we're Cape Vincent Brewery, Snug Harbor, Roxy's, the Cold Docks, Crave, Pat Wiley now. I'll get that name correct. Taste of Design, Fisherman Fair,
Ann's Fisherman Fair.
and Fisherman's Fair. My husband.
And Taste by Design is Cup of Joy.
Yes. Cup of Joy is a better way to term, yes.
Mm.
Oh, you want Cup of Joy instead?
Mhm.
Yeah, Taste of Design was the old business.
Yep.
I gotta go hunt all these down. Okay, Ann's Fisherman's Fair, Millens Bay, question mark on there. I guess we need to go to Buffy and ask her what she's doing there. Osprey, Twist of Cape, Cape Vincent Winery, home time meals to go.
Town.
Hometown meals to go.
Anything else?
Should we include the Audrey's? and French
Are
Town?
they restaurant, wine, craft
Yeah,
breweries, or?
They do
Some
some
pizza.
pizza.
Okay,
Frenchtown Market.
And they do some other things on different days too.
Yeah.
Or they were like lasagna on Monday.
Fish fries.
Yeah.
better to be.
Yeah, because we
inclusive.
we couldn't put them in a group with grocery stores because they're it. So,
Well, let's
these are our own group, yeah.
So is that your plan to start with this one focus group and this one group and see how that goes?
So, yeah, so our thought process is take one step at a time and any of you are more than invited to come to the focus groups. And the other question I had for the board, can we use this location? Is that permissible?
Yeah, I think it's just you gotta book it with Keith.
Just, we just have to make sure your
It's
date and
available?
time is available.
Okay.
Absolutely, that's what it's for.
Okay, okay. And that's through the village or the town?
Um, I can help them out with Keith.
Thank you, Dan. Okay. Because this is just, everyone knows what this is, it's public.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought that would be great. So we'd start with the restaurants, wine, craft breweries. I haven't gotten with Scott to look at tentative dates. I'd like to do it sooner than later. I'd love to do it in June, because once July hits, they're all gonna be so busy with their businesses
Yeah.
that it'll be difficult, but I want to give them at least a week or 2 weeks. Usually 2 weeks would be appropriate, so we could do it end of July. Or end of June, I mean,
Do it on a Monday or a Tuesday. 'cause
yeah,
most
when
of them
they're
are
closed, that's what I was thinking. A Monday would be, for majority of them, they're closed.
For sure.
So that would be helpful. So we'd start with that, we'd test it out, we'd see what kind of feedback we get. And also participation.
Mhm.
I've already got Jeremy at Osprey saying, yes, he will participate. I saw him last night. He thought it was a great idea. So, so we'll get this first group going, see how we do, test the waters. And then from there, we'll bring it back to the board, and then we'll proceed with lodging, marinas, other businesses. Because I think that will be really helpful. And that can help us gain intel that then as a board, we can build that plan around.
Mhm.
So do you advertise that as an open public meeting?
I would not. Because, you're gonna have businesses talking about their economic objectives. And then they're also gonna be talking about economic challenges and restraints. And some of those could be political, could be, I would like them to be more transparent.
I'm just wondering about.
If we have
You can't
to.
open it up unless we advertise it. I mean, we couldn't all attend is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I think it's almost like a working group, so I think we could just
Narrow it down to.
narrow it down and just have, Jeannie and Scott there, and then, because I do think, you're right, Jeannie, I think where they're gonna feel more open in a closed environment than they would be where they feel there's a lot of people listening to what they're saying.
I've done in the past, Scott and I talked about this, I said, I've done focus groups where we've done one-on-ones. But that's very time consuming for the facilitators. And Scott doesn't have that time.
No,
And I could make the time, but then it'll extend us gathering the data. And I think that's not the point. We want to get the data so that we can move forward with the strategic.
yeah, it'd be
plan.
ideal if we could at least be getting the strategic plan drafted in the fall. I mean, we'll be in business a
And you may
year.
have one or two say. "This has been
The
great."
big, well, I
I'll-
think the big
I'll
chunks
apply
are,
and Say, I'd like to sit down one-on-one,
yeah,
or as an individual.
or, offer that opportunity. The restaurants, I think, are the big chunk, and then we got lodging, we got marinas too, and
Yeah,
they're a big piece of the economics in this area. And then we had a group of just alternative businesses, and there's from contractors to metalcraft. I thought they had relocated in Watertown. Scott corrected me that they still do operations
They
here.
came back.
Yeah. Cape Dairy, Motel and Laundromat, the Chateau. I mean, Dean and his wife have been very successful in Cape. I'm sure they have ideas. So, again, I think we'll start with the big group and then go down, and so then we can determine next. Who do we go next with?
Another group that we might want to look at is agricultural.
Oh,
Because
is
we had
it?
talked about trying
Good
to
point.
focus on some of our agricultural businesses, so that might be a group to put in. They might even be a group we need to wait for winter active, but.
Mhm.
Which would be great.
Oh, really, I was thinking about that because with Cape Winery, they're kind of in the tourism business, but like Warren's Farms, they now have their little stand, well, it's not little anymore, I guess it's gotten larger, but they're doing things. And there could be others that I'm just not aware of.
Maple
Yeah.
syrup,
Yeah.
And I like the idea of that, I mean, because that is a
I don't have
major
it.
part of our. I think that
I
would
have
be,
a list of the other businesses, I'll email them to you, but
Great,
like,
thank you.
the liquor store too, do we want to add them into restaurants?
They
I know they're
were,
not.
I put the liquor store in with businesses
Okay.
and, you know, generic businesses. Hey, Vincent. I'm sure Bob will be here with
Oh, sure.
Elsa. So. But yeah, send those to me, and then I think we can, if we have success and good participation, then I think we can. This doesn't have to stop.
Mhm,
We can continue surveying.
yeah,
Like, I still would love to survey the clergy and different people, because I think there's different populations in the town and village that may have needs that we are just totally unaware of,
yeah.
you know, things like that. So,
I think the clergy and then also the like the improvement.
501.
league And, yeah,
All of the 501c3s.
yeah. we can put them all together.
Yeah. We got a bunch of them.
okay,
And then, from an agriculture, all the, invite a bunch of the big farms and.
And yeah, and I think we could also do this with families too. That would help us.
Well, we're still gonna do a resident survey, right?
that was something that was discussed. I
Yeah,
wanted to get the focus group kicked
Yeah.
off first. And then,
Because-
see what our response is.
well, because the one thing Scott mentioned about that the New York Forward was planning on doing a survey. And,
they are.
yeah, and so he was gonna try to intersect that. And
Okay.
obviously, we would go broader, right? I mean, we would do the village and the town. But so there wouldn't be two surveys.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important, just to make sure, even though it may not be timing wise exactly when we want it, I think we want to make sure we intersect it and get whatever questions we want on there.
Okay,
Good.
so I'll move forward. Anyone who has, I'll send this back out, that list. If you have contacts or know of the owners, because that is not my forte. I may participate in their businesses, but may not know who owns what and what. That would be most helpful, because the sooner we can get that invitation list in a mailing list done. And ideally, emails are gonna be ideal, to go that direction, if we can, so.
Have you talked to, Christie at the chamber?
That's where I got most of my list for. I have not yet,
Okay.
but I can reach out to her too.
Yeah, I'm sure she has some type of list. that
I
she's
bet
able to
she
send out.
does. if
Yeah,
she's
well,
the
just the
top.
membership form, yeah, the owner's name is on there and everything, so she'd probably have everything. you need.
She'd probably be our best resource, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
She might even be good to have as just a fly on the wall for some of these. So she can get some insight in what businesses, I don't know, maybe not.
do we categorize a Legion anywhere?
I didn't put the Legion anywhere. It's a service club, right? Would be what it would be
It is, but
considered.
it's, they
A
have.
veterans, well, they,
Probably not for profit, but they have an open license, so I mean, it's not a
They
private club, it's an open license.
they do serve fish, do they still do that? They're
It's
serving
nowhere.
fish fries?
So they're also almost a business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they use it for fundraising.
We should include them somewhere,
Yeah.
because they give a lot back to the community
Yeah,
over the years.
that's a good point, Jim.
Do you want to put them in the restaurant category? Because they're a bar restaurant? It doesn't matter. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
probably,
I mean-
it's probably as close as
They
anything.
probably fit better there than,
Who's the head of Legion?
Ingersoll's the commander. I mean, they got the Sons, they got the Riders, they've got the auxiliary, I mean,
they have
it's,
so
they're
much.
an active bunch.
All right, great, really good progress, thank you.
So I'll reach out to the chamber and see if she can provide me, I'll give her the laundry list and see if she can provide me with owner contacts, if she's okay with that. And then we'll go from there, and then we'll fill in the gaps. Okay,
Good. All right, over to Dan. Update on town.
The only thing I got is, we met with Irene on Tuesday morning. She was looking for a minutes and some summaries on our public hearings on the LWRP. I think we've got everything over to them. The last email I got looked very positive. It looked like
Yeah,
she had sent, are you reading it now?
yeah, I am, after we totally confused everyone, but yeah.
But I think from what I gathered, she's pretty content with
It
what she
sounds
has in
like-
hand. So that's good. And the 60-day review, and then hopefully we can put that freaking thing to bed.
Right.
Okay.
The other thing I just found out today on this, the sewer study that we had conducted for Route 12E. We had initially looked at the village all the way to the prison. Came back at $1,400 per EDU, and which was too much, so we kicked it back to Millens Bay, and it was about $850. We just found out there's new grant sources available. If we do go to the prison, it opens up 2 more grant resources, which would drop it back down to another $250 to around $600.
Is that 250, 600 to tie in?
$600 per year for each
Unit,
individual unit.
so I hate it personally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have 32 units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be again, just like the water system, the one who paid the most of everybody.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely hate it. Plus I've engineered and put in septics, you
Right.
know, I've done all the investment. So I'm coming out strong against that one myself.
Yeah.
Is there an opt-out?
What's that?
Is there an opt-out?
No.
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
If it goes through,
Oh,
it's,
There's no opt-out?
No, just like the water.
if the majority, if it's, the majority approves it, it's a municipal sewer system, just like the municipal water. If you don't hook in, you're still gonna pay your,
$600 a year?
A unit.
Oh,
Aye.
but anyway, we're at least looking at it, exploring it. It's a long ways off, but it's
Still.
something we're looking at. That's all I got.
Okay. Oh,
Why could not an opt-out be built in, Dan, to make people like me happy?
Based on tax base, tax property. I mean, it's just the way the grants are set up,
Well, it's grand.
based on the number of units, you know, it's just not a thing with the water. You know, you just, some people have good wells, I don't want it,
Right,
but other people don't, other people got good systems, other people don't. And it's an environmental thing, I mean, there's old cottages, as we all know, they've got 55-gallon drums for septic systems.
Mhm.
And we know where the runoff's heading. So, I mean, there's a concern.
But
And
is-
eventually, the downside is eventually it's gonna be mandated,
That's what I was just gonna say, is it going to be mandated with,
Oh.
especially,
without a doubt.
could
Even
there
if
be
you-
something
So
where it's,
even if you have an engineered, a certified engineered system, like ours is certified.
Yeah.
I mean, yours is, well, yours
Most
is
are.
commercially certified,
I mean, the newer places are,
yes.
but
but there's a lot of old.
a
Mm.
lot
No,
of-
I can concur that that's probably the case. But, you
Well,
know,
it's
if
no
you have an
different than
engineer
village. I mean, you
certified.
guys, it was either shit or get off the pot. You had to upgrade your sewer system or
no
you
pun
didn't have a
intended.
choice.
In the village.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were gonna start getting fined.
Rather than wait until they come down on you, at least we're trying to get an idea if there's an affordable way to try to do it.
Well, and if we do it ahead, I would assume if we do it ahead of time, there's gonna be more grants than when they tell everybody they have to do it.
Right.
True.
There's a lot of funds available right now for water and infrastructure and sewer.
Right. Well, that-
So is there an opportunity, like, I'm talking about Interrock, but to defray the costs with New York Forward or something like that? Can you utilize that money to help the businesses?
Not for infrastructure. I mean, there's
Mm.
specific grants for infrastructure
Sure,
projects.
projects like
Water,
that.
sewer.
Where it makes it more, you know, helps the environment, but also it's economically feasible.
I mean, there's people that say, for $600 a year, I'm gonna have municipal sewer. I'm in.
Yeah, but that doesn't guarantee it's gonna stay there, right? Forever. $600, it can go up.
No,
It'll always be $600.
That's the
Is it?
debt.
Oh, okay.
There's gonna be costs for, you know, maintenance and repair, but that's the debt to get it in.
Gotcha.
And that's usually like capped at 30 years. Or
30, I think the last water line was 37,
I was thinking, yeah, because Tibbetts was 30.
was it?
Yeah, and
So,
I have to pay 2 EDUs
Yeah.
for the apartment.
but anyway,
Okay. Dan, one other thing,
That's $558,000 for me. That's what I'm trying to say here. $558, $500,000.
it seems like you could come up with something that would be.
We got
I'm
to get
getting
Scott.
shaken.
No, Fred, we gotta get Scott working on a grant for businesses. No, but
Yeah,
it's a reality. Look
It's
at
a
the mobile
reality that
parks.
should be considered instead of, well, it's just way it goes.
yeah.
Look at the mobile parks,
Same thing.
same thing. 'Cause
Oh, I didn't even count my mobile home park.
no, but think of all the
They'll have an
mobile
extra 600.
parks that now are the ones that are more closer to Cape, are they already have sewer system or no?
nothing in the township,
Oh.
village only. There's no
Okay.
municipal sewer outside the village.
Outside the village. So all.
They have the capacity within the system in their plant
I
to
see.
handle probably the whole township.
I see, okay.
So,
Sewer ends right for my house.
You don't have it?
But I've had to put work into my sewer, my septic. I had to reroute a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I would not be opposed, but I totally understand.
It just seems like you should be able to come up with something where it's a, you know,
'Cause when I
a
look-
large business, you know, can they pay?
But I
You know,
looked at- I
get
looked-
4 units for one or something.
I
you know.
talked to the village about putting in, opposed to fixing my septic, and it was gonna be
I wonder if your seasonal
5 grand.
component might be
Yeah.
an exception,
what's that?
seasonal. Oh, come on, Dan, we gotta think of something.
My, don't throw stones at me.
No, I'm thinking.
But no, I mean, if you have a dwelling, it's a EDU, an equivalent unit, that's what you pay. If you have 35, that's what you pay.
Those EDUs can be looked at by the town and village. They can be adjusted.
Oh, yeah.
Because of seasonality.
Well, I mean, you'd have to, yeah. The big undertaking, because then you have to make sure it can be equitable
Mhm.
across the board.
I didn't mean to get everybody off. the
I'm
rails.
sorry too.
No, but I mean, I think that's part of what this committee is, right? I mean, is to talk
Yeah.
about these things and get a point of view, so.
And an opt-out for certified septics would be the thing that would make
But how
it
many sort of,
palatable to people who've already just invested.
yeah,
Yeah, the problem with that is the debt. I
Yeah.
mean,
you have to have enough census
You're
to pay
still
it.
going, you know, it's based on how many dwellings. The debt is X amount of dollars divided by so many dwellings equals $600 with the grants. If you divide that by a smaller number on the bus,
Then it's
everybody goes up.
$700, right? So somebody else is paying 700, and I would pay a little less than $500,000.
When we go out for a grant, it can't be 1 penny over what that proposed debt is.
Understood.
So there's a lot of, and
One other question on the town, so when, we were gonna have Scott look at the, federal grant for extending the bike path. And he was gonna get back to the board, so this was a discussion at the town board meeting I attended, as an attendee. Did he get back to the town board about, the question on the table was, would it make more sense that the village and the town went for the grant together? Would that give us more points?
I have not heard back
Okay,
on that, but he was gonna check to see if, first of all, if it was viable.
to
and
have
Would
two,
it make more sense?
Yeah.
Would it help in our?
Yeah.
Point system or
yeah,
whatever.
and the discussion was that, you know, the LDC pays for Scott, and if we wanted him to, you know, apply for that grant, there was some discussion on that, but
And there's no match, I mean, it's a,
it's money, it's,
Right.
yeah. So, all right, good, thank you. I didn't know if that had gotten close. Pam?
I don't think I have anything really to add. It's got our biggest project, the East End Park is going still ahead of schedule.
Mhm.
They're doing great. Dan already mentioned the LWRP, hopefully that's gone soon. The biggest thing, the mayor's been speaking with, the Horn family and their attorneys trying to get something resolved there and to help the younger crew that wants to take over. So that's our biggest, but that's basically just Jerry Golden working with the attorney. and-
Trying to help in any way they can.
Yes,
Yeah.
just trying to make clear paths and saying what we're willing to do and how can we help.
Cause it's such a drop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything else.
So Scott had sent a note to everybody about the New York Forward meeting. I think everybody got that. It was, or he didn't just send it to me, right? That was that.
Next
Yeah.
Thursday.
That is open to the public. I confirmed that. I asked, Christine checked with the New York Forward people. So anybody who does want to attend, if you want to attend, there will be a segment of public questions at the tail end of it. Because I went back and said, I don't think we can go to this, right? We don't have a representative on the committee. And then Christine did check. So just so you guys know, it is open. If you want to go, I'm going to try to make it just so I can kind of, especially since it appears we may need to manage that small amount of grants. So I want to try to keep on top of it so we know what's happening.
Can you remind me when that is?
Yes, I can. It's on the 16th.
Which one are you talking about? The
This is the
The
New
first-
York Forward first meeting of that committee.
Thursday,
Noon to 12:30, or noon to 1:30, I'm sorry. It's the 15th from noon to 1:30 at the village office. So that's the community house. If anybody wants to go to that. Okay. Mandy, childcare.
No, it's
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go, I'm gonna quit recording for our discussion about the executive director position, so we're gonna skip that note. That was just to remind me that we had to have it on the agenda. Okay, Mandy and Bill, FDRLO. What'd we find out?
I was been trying to find out who to contact, to be honest, and I haven't found a good contact for that. The person that I knew of is
What is that acronym?
Fort Durham, Regional Liaison Organization.
Okay.
They're
Also called
advocate Corp.
Advocate Drone.
Yeah. They've downsized a little bit over the past year and some change.
Yeah,
So-
when Drone came off the base closure list, they kind of, that was their main point. So,
You were gonna try to find out from somebody how many military families were in the Cape?
yeah, I sent that out, there wasn't many, it was like 13 or something ridiculous. Part of that, so this is a survey that the school sends out for families to fill out because they get federal funds. The school doesn't push it, and doesn't educate families on why to fill it out, unfortunately, because they're losing a lot of free money. I've offered to, because I work with a school liaison officer, and I got information and sent it to the school, and I said, please include this when you send out your letter. I never do, so. So I think it was 13 families.
And that was
There's more
just,
than that.
that was that was just at the elementary level, or was that the high school and
That
elementary?
was necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah, shouldn't this be a district-wide thing?
There is, and she sent the numbers for all of it. I had forwarded. But it was, it had the breakdown. But like even me working on Fort Drum, they get money for that. Yeah, I don't have a military affiliate besides that, but they get extra funds because my kids go to school here. But the school, really, it's frustrating because the school really needs to push it more. And
That would have to come from the district.
it would, and yeah, they have
As
the
opposed to
tools,
just
they
the-
just don't hit send.
Huh, leaving money on the table.
so,
Oh, yeah.
so what
Our
are,
money, our
what
taxpayer
are,
money.
what do you guys think? I mean, is this something we should keep pursuing? Do we think that there's
I think maybe part of what we want to talk to the businesses about is see if they have any, want to do I don't know, partnerships, but like, if they give to the military community, the military community will come here. Today with Riverfest, there was thousands of people in Alice Bay all day today, spending money. If like the businesses wanted to do something for the active duty soldiers and their families, they would show up, but it would have to be free. And then they would spend money when they're here, you know, like
Yeah.
something would have to get them here. Oktoberfest, that's a lot of military that come down to Oktoberfest. I think that's a proven point that if you give, because they give a discount for military, they come. And that's packed. I volunteered last year at Riverfest and I saw so many people that I knew from working on Fort Drum.
Is it a chamber initiative with all their events?
I don't know, maybe.
I think it fits into our.
Yeah, I do too, but I just,
offices. You know, we could spend some money to set something up.
yeah, charters,
Bring
I
more
know.
people in, to spend more money in the community. I mean,
Sponsor an event.
that's what we're looking to do is.
And part of it would be,
development, economic.
and we can discuss this more, I think it would be more of a longer discussion, but making it smart partnerships, because everything you do with Fort Drum, it has to go through MWR. And unless you're extremely specific, they'll just take the money and use it for what they want. For example, I had somebody donate money to our exceptional family member program, which is a family member program with disabilities, and the money, they wanted it to go to that, but MWR would not tell me how much money they gave. And then I had to use it for something that MWR got the money back to. So, but knowing that, I could say, I want to offer this to X, Y, and Z, and if we have the stipulations, we control that. So, you know, like having that knowledge base of how the money is spent would benefit.
What is MWR?
Morale, welfare, and recreation. It's just the organization on post that,
Okay.
they're the ones that plan Riverfest, and I don't know if you've heard Mountain Fest is coming. But, you know, they don't get money like the rest of they're non-appropriated funds, so they have to make money to survive, basically. They get subsidized, but
So
not like,
so briefly, tell me about Riverfest. What do they do?
they, take them sand boats over to the castle and they have a cookout, at the pavilion down by the hospital. That's usually where, and they have, all the streets are basically closed off and families are back and forth from the boats to the picnic area in Uncle Sam's parking lot right downtown.
So
They have different events going on.
Donates the food, who does the cooking, who does the serving,
MWR and A.
USA.
That's an
Yeah,
organization.
so they come in and take care of all that.
Yeah, I'm sure, Uncle Sam kicks back with some, or maybe they give the rides for free or something like that.
Yeah, it's an AUSA led event, and then Alexander Bay and FMWR are kind of partners in that. And they work with Uncle Sam Boat Tours. They've been doing this for a long time, so I'm not sure exactly who leads or works with them.
Yeah, no,
But
it would be worth exploring a little bit to see.
But, you know, MWR is looking to make money, like our agencies will go to events like we used to go to that and have information tables about our programs. And now they're starting to charge us, and we're a government program, we're right there, and they're like, oh, you have money, give it to us.
So for the two of you, is this something we should continue to pursue and understand and have a meeting with them? I mean, what are you guys thinking? Is this something that should stay on the agenda and we should pursue? I guess is the question. I know it's,
Yeah.
if it's 13 families plus, right?
I think it really depends on where we want to get our focus, if we want, not that we don't want military families coming in, but if that's a big focus of the community, then yes. I think it can be beneficial. I think it would help highlight Cape Vincent and that what we have to offer, because I don't know that many people make it this far, 'cause it's so far away.
Mhm.
So I think there could be a lot of benefits, but I also feel like we need some organizations behind us to, you know, what are we bringing them here for?
Mhm.
You know, we have to have something for them to come for. I think they're not just gonna, you know, we could advertise and do that, but that's not gonna get them here. We need something to get them here that's free for them.
Reason, yeah.
An event.
Because it depends what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because the having the members of the school district, either the active military or, government employees like Mandy or myself, that's interesting, but that's not enough to really do the draw. If we're looking to do something along the lines of Riverfest, to then bring people who don't necessarily live in the community, to entice them to spend money, potentially come here, and do other events, or maybe even put down roots here, that's a completely different calculus. And
Yeah.
so, it just depends what we're trying to do, to be quite honest.
I think it's maybe something we can keep discussing, and if we have specific things we want to look at, we could do that, or like, I know, like Oktoberfest, we could help Oktoberfest get further into Fort Drum, and like, hey, if you give, we could give out tickets that give them an extra $1 off, even though they're a military discount, or something like that. And that's just already an established event, that's why I was thinking that, but.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
mean, that'd be easier, right, is to write on something established to get started.
Right, but I also think like one of the things that we might be able to try and partner with is some of the fishing, like we have some charters. Or companies here, and I know the soldiers would love to get out and fish, that would be huge. They do that with wounded soldiers, and they have the state troopers have a take a trooper, or take a troop.
Troop.
Yeah, something.
like
They have something where they take them fishing, so it's already semi-established, but it could be something bigger. We could maybe offer it to families and like, hey, bring your kid fishing for the day. And.
Well,
but, then
maybe,
there's New York State
like.
licenses that have to get involved with fishing, so I don't know,
Yeah.
it's- but.
I think Clayton does something like that, don't they? That they
There are
have
a
an
couple
event.
days that are you don't have to have a state license to
Yes.
fish, so the free
Yes.
fishing days, if we could get something maybe around that and. Have a picnic downtown on the green if they come, I don't know, those are just some ideas, and we could look at, but I don't think we have the manpower to do that, we have to have somebody behind us.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oktoberfest is an interesting concept.
They come to that. And a lot of people, Oktoberfest is so popular in Germany, and a lot of soldiers have been to Germany, so they're like, oh. And a lot of them that I saw last year is like, this is the closest to a German Oktoberfest that I've been to in the States
Oh,
since being in Germany. And, I'm not saying they've been to tons, but
And who puts that on right now? Is it the chamber?
Yeah.
So that event sounds like it could get a lot bigger.
And it's nice for the businesses, 'cause that's the end of the season,
yeah.
for them, so.
Yeah, if we're looking to go ahead and tag on to existing events, French Festival, Oktoberfest, or other things like that, then that's a direction to pursue, and just working out with the chamber and then kind of cherry pick possibilities for that. And then, we're wired into FMWR that either sponsor trips as is, and of course, Bob is one of the events down here, so we can kind of figure out how do they do it. And then is there a mechanism to advertise and get soldiers up here to do some of these things? Because if we're looking to go ahead and kind of advertise Cape Vincent, give them to spend money and those types of things, then that is a direction to pursue.
Yeah.
But we could probably get a list of events from the chamber and kind of cherry pick some as a pilot. And then kind of.
Yeah, and even just like you say, just advertise or give them some kind of a ticket that we could even sponsor,
Because that's what they do for the Riverfest. When we sell the tickets on post and they work the arrangements with Uncle Sam's and stuff, it is a reduced ticket to go ahead and go in the boat trip like that, because they just know they're gonna go ahead and get a whole, a boatload, no pun intended, of people there, to go ahead and spend money within the village.
Yeah.
So.
And the soldiers, if they buy a ticket, they get the day off. So there's extra incentive.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
they'll just buy a ticket to get the day off.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what would we think would be a next step on this then?
I think maybe talking to the chamber and seeing if they wanna us to help.
Yeah.
Chamber, Lions?
Lions, yeah, but I think we need some events to. target.
Yeah, it sounds like that'd be like a good baby step,
Mhm.
right? To see where, as your guys are suggesting, I think that's a good suggestion. So,
I could get with Christie and
okay,
schedule times to show.
Do they do any equipment displays? I mean, do they take anything off base and set up in locations?
Oh, yeah.
helicopters, tanks, jeeps.
So it depends what it is, and so broadly, beyond just the River Fest and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Fort Drum sends out a lot of equipment that's requested by different folks, anywhere from 30 minutes from post to 3-4 hours from post. And it could be anywhere from, soldiers with, let's say, a vehicle, to helicopters, military working dog demonstrations, marching the parade, the band, combinations of those items. It just depends, whatever. So, for example, we wanted to go ahead and have, in fact, I think we had, military soldiers, and I want to say, I swear they were there at the Oktoberfest last year, but it was one of our events here in the village. But you just put it on a form, and if they can support it, they'll send them out.
That might be something
The
to look
colonel
into.
just did the high school honors.
Yeah, we're TI.
Yeah, he graduated here.
Yeah.
So he's leaving next month, but he had a tie to TI too. which is nice. But, yeah, they're gonna be at French Day. I did see them on the list for the bands.
Yeah.
The band. that they did.
That's right, that was just kidding.
And they, in the past, they've been on the Saturday schedule for the bands on the green. and the music on the green.
And I know we've sent a display, in conjunction with the American Legion, we sent them out to Basher Elementary. So, as we do these things, if that's something else we want to do, kind of the drawing more the military, it's just a simple form that's requested by whoever the person is and what it's for. They
So
can
maybe
support it.
that's one of the things we can do is help educate the community about that, like,
Mhm.
because they wouldn't know. I think you got roped in at one year for Veterans Day a couple of years ago.
And again this year.
Yeah.
But it's as simple as a form, like what is it you want to have, for what event? And that's kind of the salesmanship at Fort Drum. They just have a big committee, kind of like this. And say, yeah, we can support this, or I have all these teams out. Is the juice worth the squeeze? And somebody approves or disapproves it. They approve it, they task a unit, they come on out. It just depends what it is. So things like Oktoberfest, French Festival, kind of the bigger event, the bigger, the better,
Mhm.
because,
Makes them worth their while.
it worth their while. And, it gets their presence out, that kind of tie to the community, one for the soldiers, stuff like that.
I think one of the units is actually gonna be doing parking for French Festival.
They are,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
yeah,
That's
there's
good.
3 different groups, because the Improvement League is parking. And they're parking, and there's a third group parking, and I can't remember what it is, yeah. So, yeah, good, well, good, yeah, so I mean, that sounds like a good next step, we'll keep it on the agenda then, and, just sort of continue to explore. Because that's probably a big untapped group to bring into the community, we just have to get it to be more of a regular project as opposed to if somebody thinks about it.
So if we're gonna pursue that, do we still want to go ahead and see if we can reach out to Advocate Drum and find a contact? I may
You
be
got,
able to-
I'm gonna defer to you guys, because you know all these different groups. If you think it makes sense that we should, and let them know we're here, and they might have some idea, I don't know. Yeah. All right. So should I change it on the next agenda to advocate?
I thought
Drum?
they completely changed their name to Advocate Drum a year and a half ago. However, if you go to the website, it has both. It has FDRLO and it has Advocate Drum. So
Okay,
I don't think we're wrong by keeping it like that.
okay, all right, thanks, Bill. All right, we talked about Dan, you're gonna let us know on the federal thing. Hopefully we can pursue that. Is there anything else before I stop the recording and we get into the executive session? No, all right, I'm gonna stop the recording.